from the US. And he's saying that sense of hurt seems to arise when the sense of who we are, this notion we have about what I am is, is challenged, and the smallness of the person I comes to the fore. Put another way, when one ego manages to convince another ego that it is somehow smaller, inferior, lacks some essence, not worthy enough, etc., then there is hurt. Since the ego derives its sense of self from outside, and if apparent cause of hurt is from outside, then in theory one would be able to see through it and avoid personal involvement. But what's cognized in the mind and accepted by the mind in tranquil situations goes out of the window when confronted by situations that give rise to this sense of hurt, and natural tendencies seem to overtake the operation. Why is this, and what can be done about it? We are hurt by hurt. What is it that hurts? Hurt hurts the concept that there should be no hurt. In the concept that there should be no hurt, there is both ignorance and arrogance. The way we are, the way man is born, hurt is a natural accompaniment of our existence. What is hurt? Where there are two, and one does not have acceptance of the other as a legitimate one, then their mutual contact is called hurt. So, hurt requires these conditions. Firstly, there should be two. Secondly, one of them or both of them must have a concept that the other has no right to exist or that the other is illegitimate. Now, whenever these two would come in contact, there would be hurt. So I asked, what is it that hurts? Hurt hurts only our notion that there should be no hurt. The day one is born in hurt. The entire life is a game of duality, and there is bound to be disorder and friction and chaos, and all of these, if seen as unjustified, would cause hurt. I said there is both ignorance and arrogance in seeing disorder and conflict and collision and chaos as unjustified. Why is there ignorance in this? There is ignorance in this because we do not see that wherever there is duality, there is bound to be conflict. And why is there arrogance in this? There is arrogance in this because the one existing in duality is assuming himself to be beyond duality. The one who is condemned to be hurt is treating himself as someone who should not be hurt. The one who is just a bit, a piece, a little fragment, is treating himself as so complete and so total that there would be nobody besides him or beyond him. So there is arrogance involved, a lot of arrogance. You are saying, why is one hurt? One should rather ask, why should this question arise at all? Wherever there is one, there is bound to be the other, and where there is the other, there is bound to be hurt. But we are peeved by hurt. We resent hurt. When hurt, we act as if something extraordinary has happened to us. When hurt, we respond with dissent. We feel as if we have been done in. We feel as if we have been cheated. We feel as if something that doesn't deserve to happen has happened. If we deserve to live life the way we live it, then we also deserve to be hurt. There is no point in resisting hurt, or in other words, getting hurt by hurt. When you enter a boxing ring, do you complain that the others' punches are hurting you? Do you complain? Would you go to a court or lodge an FIR? You have entered the boxing ring. Now, why are you getting hurt? Man is born in this boxing ring, where there is you, the other, the adversary, and the relationship is of punches. That's how we live. If you are getting hurt, then that's the rule of the game. In fact, if you get hurt, you lose points. You're trying to act like a pious and moral victim. The referee is saying, you idiot, why are you getting hurt? The more you get hurt, the more you are a loser in this game. The other is scoring over you. But you want to establish that you are in the right. You want to establish that you are peaceful and the other is an aggressor. You want to establish that you are unduly being victimized. Nothing is undue here. If all the punches are landing on your face, it is only because you are failing in your attempts to land punches on the other's face. It is not hurt per se that worries you. It is your personal hurt that worries you. It is not the act of punching that you find bad. It is the punches that land on your nose that you find bad. See that this is the inevitable consequence of the ways of our life. And just don't complain. You act, you live, you work. Where do you work? Is that place a place of harmony? Is not hurt inbuilt in the structure of the institutions that you live by? Wherever there is duality, wherever there is you and me, wherever there is a pursuit of profit, wherever there is the talk of individual rights, there is the age-old game of duality being played, right? Now look at your life. Look at your institutions, the family, the temple, the office, the workplace, the market, the country, the city, the whole system of education. Look at all of them. Are they not dualistic? Do they not only promote a sense of me and you, but are actually based on the foundation of one and the other, or one versus the other? Living in this dualistic world, where you are taught to be better, where you are taught to compete, where you are taught to succeed, what right does one have to complain of hurt? It is said, those who live by the sword shall die by the sword. When you live by the sword, then you don't complain because the same sword is enabling your life. But when cut by the sword, you look at your wound and your blood and you say, hurt is so bad. Don't you see that the same mode of living that enables you to get your daily bread is the mode that also makes you get hurt? Where does our bread come from? It comes from conflict and competition. It comes from one's performance benchmarked against another's performance. Do you complain when you receive your salary check? If you do not complain when you receive your salary check, how can you complain when you get hurt? Because both of them are coming from the same source. If you compete well, you get a higher salary. And if you are competing, then at some point or the other you will also get hurt. Hurt is a natural accompaniment of this world order that we are living in. Call it world order or disorder. The mobile phone in your hand, it is a product of human effort. It is a product of pursuit of targets. It is a product of market forces. The price that you pay for it is a result of cutthroat competition. The apps that you download on it are there because of human choice and preference. The ego's likes and dislikes. Do you ever complain against your mobile phone? You don't, because hurt and duality are so subtly ingrained in that phone that you are unable to see that the mobile phone stands for hurt. So you don't complain then. Have you ever complained against your very house? Tell me, what are these walls? These walls are separations. They are divisions. They are barriers that divide man from man. Are they not? Outside the wall of your house, you say, is the outsider. And inside that wall, you say, is the family member. Have you ever complained against your house? If you haven't ever complained against your house, why do you complain when somebody hurts you? Because the moment you create an outsider, hurt is bound to be there. Wait, the moment you create an insider, again hurt is bound to be there. In fact, the insider is going to hurt you more viciously than the outsider. But with great fondness and devotion, you raise these walls. With great affection, you call the walls as your house. And then when you get hurt, you look around, you wonder, as if something unexpected has happened. What is unexpected in hurt? When you go to a marketplace where competition prevails, when you go to a workplace where you do not know what you are doing, where you do not know who you are really working for, yet you are blindly chasing a target. And when you live in a house where there is great fondness for the insider and apathy for the outsider, what wonder is there in the fact that one keeps getting hurt? The house is hurt, the marketplace is hurt, the workplace is hurt, the educational institution is hurt, the religious institution is hurt, because all of them are based on division, because all of them are based on walls and duality. You might say you are not strong enough to bring down the walls. Then at least be honest enough to not to complain when you bang your head against the walls. You are the one who has raised these walls, and you are also the one who is benefiting from these walls as per your own definition of benefit. I do not call that as benefit. But you see great benefits in walls, don't you? If you are benefiting so much from this world of disorder and duality and divisions, then you must also pay the price. The price is hurt. And if you do not want to pay this price, then kindly muster the courage to stop living in a world where hurt is a necessity. If you win, the other gets hurt. And if you lose, then you get hurt. That is the law of the land. That is the rule of the game. Shoot him before he shoots you down. Punch him before he lands his punch. So first of all, stop complaining. First of all, stop acting as if you are a hapless victim. One is just reaping the fruits of the entire garden one has raised. Basic honesty demands that when one gets hurt, one says, all right, this was bound to happen. All right, this was bound to happen. The boxer does not throw away his gloves, does not start stamping his feet on the ground, does not start wailing, does not complain to his mother, Mama, he just punched me. Referee uncle, see here, he just punched me. You signed up for it. All of it is happening with your consent. What right does one have to complain? Look at one's relationships. Based on give and take, based on dependency, based on subtle violence and exploitation. Till the time you keep subtly exploiting the other, till the time the game is favorable to you, you don't complain. But when the other decides that he has had enough, or when the other decides that he too wants to have fun exploiting you, then you complain. When the relationship takes shape, do you ever come and inquire? Do you pause and reflect? Do you try to see what is the basis of that relationship? When the relationship is building up, when the relationship is prospering, then there is no need to reflect. These are early days and all seems hunky dory. But when there is a breakup, then you wail so hard, you bring the sky down. Great God, such severe injustice. She left me. The way the relationship was it not certain that it would end this way? बोया पेड़ बबूल का, हम कहां से खाए? Now, two mistakes. Firstly, you do not sow the right seeds. And the second mistake is you keep expecting that you will still get plum fruits. You may even go on and take your second mistake to great heights. You may keep pretending that the thorns of your tree are actually luscious fruits. So you are taking the thorn and trying to squeeze the juice out of it. And when you get hurt, you say, you see. Even juice hurts these days. At least be honest enough to accept that these are thorns. Begin from this point. When you get hurt, accept it with folded hands. Don't resist it. Nobody is plotting against you. Nobody is conspiring behind you. You are only getting that which you agreed to get. As they say, the chicken have come home to roost. You create this mess daily. You add to the disorder daily. Now honestly accept when the disorder comes to take its toll upon you. If you can be forthright in not resisting hurt, then you have already advanced beyond your limited confines. There was a gangster movie I saw, an old one, in which the Don, he's a Don, a killer. He has been killing all his life. Eliminating his opponents has been his hobby. But at last, one of his adversaries, a few of them rather, they catch up with him. And now they are all standing in front of him, ready to shoot him, kill him. It's his last moment. He looks at them and he says, ah. The expression on this fellow's face at this moment is not at all one of complaint. He is not cribbing against life, and it's his last moment. He is going. He says, in the next room is my piano. I'll play the piano and shoot me when I'm playing the piano. And he goes and very joyfully he takes off his coat, his tie, unbuttons his shirt, and with great abandon, he plays the piano. And as he keeps playing the piano, his adversaries keep shooting him. He keeps on receiving the bullets and keeps playing the piano, and then collapses on the piano itself. That's the basic minimum honesty you can display. I lived the life of a gangster. Obviously, this is the death scripted for me. I'll have to die as a gangster because I have lived as a gangster. What right do I have to complain? So at least now when death has arrived, in my last moments, let me not cheat, let me not lie. I will not beg for mercy. I will not beg for a little more time. That is the beginning. Next time you feel hurt, realize that you have earned it and deserved it. The more you resist hurt, the more you prove to yourself that you are in the right. You tell yourself, I am such a nice fellow, faultless. Committed, dedicated to the truth. And yet bad things are happening to me. This is obfuscation of reality. Contrasted to this, when you accept hurt, then for the first time you are saying, the way I live, protecting falseness, promoting falseness, looking for security, afraid of insecurity. This is the natural result. For the first time, you accept that you are away from your heart, that you are away from your true center, that you are totally entangled embroiled in unnecessary stuff. Acceptance of hurt means an acceptance of one's falseness. And if you can accept your falseness, that is the beginning of surrender to the truth. If life seems bad, don't blame anybody else. All suffering is self-made. Whenever you suffer, look at yourself and ask, what have I done and who am I to deserve this suffering? Suffering in that sense is a message from truth, a message that can take you to relief. If you suffer, tell yourself there is surely something wrong within. And hence suffering is an opportunity to eliminate that which is false, rotten, and unnecessary within. Use hurt. Use all your suffering. Suffering is greatly needless in a sense, but also something that is deeply required. It is needless because you have unnecessarily brought it upon you. There can be life without suffering. You have unnecessarily added suffering to your life, so it is needless. But it is also greatly needed because once you have moved to the wrong center, to the wrong mode of operation, to the false set of identities, then you need suffering. You need suffering so that it can act as a shock, as a reminder, as a wake-up call. Next time when you are hurt or when you suffer, be grateful. Somebody is reminding you that you need not suffer. Through suffering, you are being reminded that you need not suffer. Listen to suffering. Don't turn your back upon it. Don't start labeling it as illegitimate. All suffering is legitimate. All suffering is just the due result of who we are. So it is justified. Listen to your suffering, and in that listening, you'll find a beyondness. There is life beyond suffering. Pradeep ji has asked, Rumi says, the hurt you embrace becomes joy. As you mentioned, it's the ego that gets hurt, and truth never gets hurt. Our current situation is that we are the ego. So then, who will embrace the hurt? Is it not the same ego who is hurt? Is the question clear? I have said many a times that it's only the ego that gets hurt. And Pradeep ji is further quoting Rumi that the hurt that you embrace becomes joy. He is saying it's only the ego that gets hurt. And the current situation is that we are the ego. So then who will embrace the hurt? And is it not the same ego that is hurt? Who is saying all this? Who realizes? Who is saying, embrace your ego? Who is saying, the ego when embraced becomes joy? Who is saying, it is only the ego that gets hurt? Who is saying, truth never gets hurt? Who is saying all these things? The ego? From where does beauty come? From where do the scriptures come? Who realizes? Who really sees? Who listens? The ego? But you are very steadfastly claiming that our current situation is that we are the ego. If you are the ego, who realized that you are the ego? Is realization a function of the ego, Pradeep ji? So don't be so sure that you are the ego. Don't be so sure. Had you really been the ego, you would not have come forth with this statement and you would not have come forth to ask me this doubt. Had you really been the ego, the first thing you would have done was to avoid me. The ego avoids the truth like death. Had you really been the ego, what business would you have had attending so many camps and sessions? That in you which asks these questions, that in you which is listening to all my answers, that in you which understands, is also the one who can stand apart from the hurt. He will see that the ego is getting hurt. And he will not support the ego. He will not resist the ego either. He would just see that all of this is happening. His sight is so benevolent, so curative, that it heals the ego. Just by looking at the ego, he cures the ego. The ego is getting hurt, and he is looking at the ego. And the hurt diminishes, and the ego starts smiling. When the real you looks at the pretentious you, even the pretentious you does not want to pretend anymore. When the real you looks at the false you does not want to stay in falseness anymore. It is a very seductive glance.
It's a very compelling sight. When the true looks at the false quivers, resists, but ultimately drops all its ammunition and has to surrender. Yes,